Alright, what's good y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, it's obviously been a very interesting couple of recent years in terms of Pokemon. The series has evolved in plenty of ways, but it's also managed to devolve in a lot of ways too. And because of these last couple of years, I have to deduce that if we're not at a breaking point yet with Pokemon, we will definitely be reaching one very, very soon. With Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and most recently Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I'm sure that a lot of people are definitely on edge about this upcoming year. And as much as I hate to say it, I too am one of those very people. It is not hard for me to be on edge given what we've been given these last couple of years. And granted, I do enjoy Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. However, that doesn't excuse the quality, the piss poor quality that we receive those games in. But I've rambled about that plenty. We're not here to talk about that right now. At the time of this recording, it is still mid-January, which means that we still have an oncoming Pokemon Day Presents that's coming for us in the middle of February next month. There's no doubt that we're getting a Pokemon Day Presents because we get the same exact thing every year. It's Pokemon Day. They're celebrating the anniversary of Pokemon by announcing the stuff that we're gonna get for the upcoming year of 2024. This has pretty much been a thing since Pokemon decided to adapt the Nintendo Direct style, so there's no doubt to be had. The thing is though, you've seen the title and you've seen the thumbnail, so I'm sure you already know where I'm going with this. Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up for Pokemon in 2024, for an abundance of reasons. I'm sure that as soon as I said that, you looked at the timer right now to see just how much I have to yap about. I don't know how long it is, but we're gonna go ahead and yap regardless. So sit down, strap in, grab your Coke, grab your orange juice, maybe both at the same time, you weirdo. And let's go ahead and talk about why I'm not particularly excited for Pokemon going into 2024. Also, for the record, I do say Pokemon in general, however, I'm mostly referring to Pokemon Day in this context because that's where we're going to get all of our news for the year, and I'm not particularly excited about the news that we're going to be receiving. So, just to clarify, but okay, let's go ahead and roll on into this. For one thing, their focus is and will be on live service games and probably TCG stuff. If it wasn't clear, I couldn't give two Rattatas asses about the TCG. You have never seen me do a live opening on this channel, and you probably never will. This is just a personal thing, but honestly, yeah, the TCG just does not interest me at all. But they do tend to put their focus there because collectors and, active battlers within that community are very heavily into that. So, that's one of their big money makers right there. And I don't blame them for putting their focus on that. Go for it. But me personally, I think that it's just kind of a waste of time to put something like that in the Pokemon Presents because I feel like most of the people that actively watch that are into the games, not necessarily the TCG. But if they're announcing news for Pokemon, they may as well announce the TCG stuff too. But whatever. Anyway, moving on. When it comes to this particular topic, it's absolutely no mystery that we live in an era of overabundance when it comes to apps and live service games. Obviously, with a big business company like Pokemon, they're obviously going to do everything in their power to capitalize on something like that. Which is why, for the past couple of years, every single time that we've gotten a Pokemon Presents, whether it be Pokemon Day or not, a majority of that time slot is filled up with all of the live service stuff. Pokemon Go, Pokemon Masters, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Pokemon Unite, and most recently Pokemon Sleep are all still very much alive and well. Please do not quote me on that. I don't know what the current statistics are officially, but they are all still playable, so I'm sure that they're fine. And as long as games like that are still alive, they will continue to push them on us for the foreseeable future, most likely. Which means that most likely, once again, in this Pokemon Day Presents, we are mostly going to get live service ads. We'll probably get a new batch of Generation 9 Pokemon in Pokemon Go. We're most likely gonna get Carmine and Kieran in Pokemon Masters as playable characters. Pokemon Cafe Remix is probably gonna introduce one or two cute Pokemon from Generation 9 to help out with the cafe. And Pokemon Unite is probably gonna get Ogerpon or something as a playable character just because. And Pokemon Sleep, I don't care. Because I'm gonna tune out. It's not gonna matter at all. This obviously gets kind of annoying to me because this is the stuff that they use to space out the year. This is the Pokemon content that we're going to get until the next big thing. And so, because of this, any hope that I have for a real spin-off game has been absolutely dumped in the garbage. I don't think that it's happening. We've talked about this a million times over by now, right? Why in the world would they bother giving us a spin-off game when they could just as easily put out some crazy update for a live service game, make half the money, but with half the effort and half the time? I have absolutely zero reason to believe that they would actually take the side that would benefit us more as the consumer. Why would they do that? There's also the fact that Detective Pikachu, being the last real spin-off game that we received in recent years, did not sell very well. You think that they're really gonna look at that and go like, oh, okay, we need to make a better spin-off game. We need to make more spin-off games that they would actually like. No. They're gonna look at that and think, oh, okay, so they just don't want stuff like this. Alright, cool, we'll just focus on the live service games then. Cause that sounds about right to me. It's very obvious that our wallets talk way louder than our actual mouths do to them, but sometimes that doesn't always send the correct message. But either way, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've still got a lot to yammer on about. My next problem is that we probably don't really have another animated series to look forward to outside of the mainline anime. The mainline anime recently got pushed to March for whatever reason. I'm sure that they're just still kind of polishing up the dub and stuff like that, which is fine, but that's probably the only animated thing that we have to look forward to in terms of a series this year. Y'all gotta remember, in 2023, we got both Pokemon Paldean Winds and Pokemon Concierge, both two series that I cannot imagine were cheap. And I know, this is Pokemon that we're talking about, so money is absolutely no object. However, yeah, no, if they are doing another miniseries, we're probably not gonna see it anytime soon. I mean, come on. There's no way in absolute hell that they have a fourth animated series in the works. There's just no way. I swear to Shanks, if I have to reference this video next month at all, I'm gonna be furious, but we'll come back to that if we come back to that. Also, not to be a downer, or at least I'm trying not to be a downer here, but from the people who have already seen the subbed version of the mainline anime, I didn't really hear anything all that extravagant. Like I said, I had the opportunity to watch the subbed version of it, but I kinda just decided not to, because I figured it would be a lot easier to just watch it when the series actually releases to the public when it drops on Netflix in, I guess, March now. However, a lot of other people did take that opportunity, and they kinda gave somewhat of a lukewarm response. There were a couple of people hyping up a few animated scenes here and there, and I will admit I got a couple of glimpses here and there, and they didn't look too bad, but other than that, nobody was saying anything all that crazy about Season 1. Now, don't get it twisted, I still very much plan to watch it for myself and gather my own opinion instead of basing it off of other people. However, based on the reception that I did get, I can't imagine that I'm gonna be going into anything all that insane. Other than that though, that generally means that we have a general idea of what the Pokemon anime is gonna look like, and we probably don't have another animated series to look forward to outside of that. So there's probably not much else they could talk about within that realm without spoiling probably way too much from the anime. So yeah, I'm definitely kind of patient regarding that news. And then of course, the topic of the hour, the mainline game. I have no doubt in my mind that we're most likely going to receive some weird crazy mainline something at the end of this year, and whatever it is, it's probably gonna be rushed and probably not as good as it could be, as always. In the previous video, I talked in depth about all of the possible games that we could be receiving at the end of 2024, but in reality, we don't have the slightest clue what we could be getting. It could actually be anything. The one thing I, and probably a lot of you can say for sure though, is that if we do end up getting a game at the end of this year, which is very much likely, then it's gonna be half-baked, it's gonna be rushed, it's gonna be unfinished, and while it could be fun, that doesn't excuse any of the problems that's gonna come with that game. It took Pokemon Company way too long to even acknowledge the fact that maybe they're putting stuff out a little too fast. But that's it. They've somewhat kind of acknowledged it. They probably don't really care based on the sales numbers that they got from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Why would they stop now? on top of this, of all of the possible games that we could receive, in reality, the ones that I would actually want are so unlikely it's not even funny. This is a little bit of a spoiler for the previous video, but if I had to put money on it, I would bet that we're probably not going to get another Legends game anytime soon. I doubt that we're going to get 5th gen remakes anytime soon, and we're not going to get that 3rd version of Generation 9. If you want to hear my explanation on that, I recommend going back to that previous video, because I talked in depth about every single possibility. Now, I did kind of mention this in the previous video, and this is something that I'm going to be talking about in depth in a very near future video. However, one of the things that I would like to see most is direct sequels to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I will gladly explain precisely why I would want something like that in that next video. However, based on what happened with Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I don't really see that happening. So in turn, what could potentially be used as an advantage, they probably wouldn't want to do that because they see that more as a risk now. So yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up for that. Also, there's a very high chance that we're gonna get the new Nintendo console at some point this year, and there's absolutely no way in hell Pokemon is not gonna capitalize on that. So yeah, no, I have absolutely no doubt that we're gonna get a rushed mainline game so that they could make it on time for this brand new console. So yet again, this will probably be yet another year with a speck of Pokemon in there. Somewhere. Now, don't get it twisted, because I really do hope, with every fiber of my being, that I am completely wrong here. Because if we were to receive some really good stuff upcoming in 2024 from this Pokemon Day Presents, I would be really happy, like anybody else. Some good high quality games, that's really all I want. And I really hope that every complaint that I've put in this video, every doubt, you know what I'm saying, I hope is wrong. A real high quality Pokemon spinoff or otherwise would be really cool, and I do truly mean that. But in all honesty, more than anything, I feel like most of us would be pretty happy if we didn't receive anything at all. If for whatever reason we did not receive a Pokemon game at the end of this year, that would mean two very big things. One is that they are actually listening and they do care about the quality of these games to an extent, and two, that the devs are actually getting a little bit of time to actually put some love and care into these games. Just 1 year, whatever they plan to put out next, if they were to just take 1 extra year for at least just a little bit of polish, that could make a world of difference. A world! A universe, even! It's not even funny. So, ironically, in a roundabout way, no announcement could potentially be the absolute best announcement. But, like I've said a lot in this video today, yeah, I kinda doubt it. This Pokemon Day, I have no hopes for. Zero expectations. Zilch and nada. Will I be waking up for said Pokemon Day to see whatever they announce? Yes, because I need to make content. Will I be happy about it? No, not in the slightest, and I know that for a fact. But, hey, that's just me. Alright, we are still very early in 2024 though, so I may have been a little bit of a Debbie Downer in this particular video, but hey, that doesn't mean that we could get something actually really extraordinary. But before we even get to that point, I need to go ahead, grab this mic right now and put it in your face. Right? So you can go ahead and tell me what you guys are thinking when it comes to Pokemon Day, specifically in 2024. Do you guys think that we'll be getting something really cool? Do you think that we'll be getting something super duper neat? Or do you agree with me in which we probably don't really have that much to look forward to, except the one thing at the end of the year, which is probably going to be really rushed and somewhat of a cash grab? Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always going to be down there with you guys. And with that, yeah, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm gone. So, thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.